All right. Time for some controversy here at the LQ Review. Got my glasses on straight. I'm all ready. Let's talk about the most recent episode of South Park Season 23 entitled Bored Girls. And I'm sure that there will be no controversy over this episode whatsoever because everybody has the same exact opinions and there is only one correct opinion. And we cannot have dissenting opinions on this because there's only one correct way to think. Okay. Bored Girls. So it's about strong woman. She's getting ready for a strong woman competition. And we've got a trans athlete. The trans athlete is a ripped man with a beard, pulsing veins, talks like a pro wrestler, clearly not even pretending to be a chick, but he's a chick because he identifies as a chick. And he comes in and he dominates women's sports. Beats strong woman, beats all the other women, just is dominating women's sports. All right, so let's talk about this. First of all, the episode was hilarious. I laughed a lot. Some of it was an uncomfortable laugh. Some of it was definitely an uncomfortable laugh, but laughs nonetheless. But let's talk about this. I coach high school sports, and this is becoming a bigger and bigger issue. Trans, biological boys identifying as girls and competing in girls' sports. It is becoming more and more of an issue the more woke our culture becomes. Now, don't get me wrong. I could care less what you identify as. You're a boy that wants to identify as a girl, have at it. You're a girl that wants to identify as a boy, perfect. Don't care. If you're a human being that wants to identify as a kitty cat, don't care. Don't care. I could care less. I could care less if you want to be a dog, a cat, a boy, a girl. I don't care. I don't care. Even that chick who worked for the NAACP, who's a white chick who identifies as a black person. I don't care. I don't care what I could care less about identity politics in America. I don't care. You think that you're something? God bless you. God bless you. I think that's great. But trans boys, or I don't even know what the exact terminology is, but biological boys who identify as girls, it's becoming a major issue in sports. And it's not to the point where it's a major issue yet. I say it's becoming a major issue. It's not there yet, but the signs are there that it's heading that way. You've got, I coach track and field, and in the sport of track and field, you've got, in some parts of this country, you've got biological boys whooping up on girls at the state meet, winning state championships. There was one race in the United States where the first biological girl at the state meet took third place. Top two were biological boys. That's a problem, guys. That's a problem. I could care less what you identify as, but biologically, boys and girls are different. Biologically, according to science, we are different. That's why we have boy sports and girl sports. It's a level playing field. Because we're different. So this whole idea that biological boys should be allowed to compete against girls if they identify as girls, that's nuts. It's nuts. And if me saying that makes you call me a transphobe, then so be it. because it's nuts. To be clear, I'm not a transphobe. I could care less. But if me saying that that's nuts makes me a transphobe, then go ahead and call me that, because it is nuts. You've got boys beating girls in track and field, boys beating girls in competitive weightlifting, boys beating girls in wrestling, and it's going to expand to the other sports eventually. Because biologically we're different. And this is going to become a problem. I coach boys and I coach girls. I've got a boys team and I've got a girls team. I'm the head coach for both. I'm an advocate for female sports. I'm an advocate for female athletes. And when you have boys competing in female athletics and winning, now make no mistake, not all boys can win in female athletics. There are some boys who can't win against boys, and then they would go up against girls and they couldn't win against girls either. But biologically, we are different. And when you start talking about some of the best in the male category and comparing them against the best in the female category, and usually there's no comparison. That's not sexist. It's the reality. It's a reality. There are exceptions, but usually there's no comparison. So, as an advocate for female sports and female athletes, it's ridiculous. This is setting female athletics back. When you start getting biological boys in the record books in girls' sports, it is setting female sports back. Why even have female sports at this point? Not at this point. We're not there yet. But if it goes to where I'm afraid it's going to go, why even have female sports? This is something we should be talking about. And this is something that South Park is doing. And I always say, when the message doesn't get in the way of the story, it's great to have a message. I don't care if it's a liberal message. I don't care if it's a conservative message. Messages are great because they get people talking. And that's what this episode did. This episode brought up a very important topic that should be being talked about by people. And you know my stance on it. My stance is that biological boys should compete against biological boys. Biological girls should compete against biological girls. Because I'm an advocate of female athletes, and this is going to set the sport back. So that's what I loved about this episode of South Park, was it brought up a very important topic that people should be talking about, and I hope they are. All that being said, what did you think of this episode of South Park? I thought it was funny, guys. I thought it was funny. I laughed a lot. I thought it was hilarious. Like I said, some of it was uncomfortable laughter, but it was laughter. I enjoyed the episode, but it brought to light a more serious topic for me. So, what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here at the LQ Review, where we talk about all of the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Every single day